Hello everyone, welcome to MINDSPAN education. So we are going through multiple random variables. In this video we will be looking at conditional expectation. We have already looked at this conditional expectation in case of single random variable. So we have looked at the conditional expectation of a random variable x given some event. But now in this video, since we are going through the multiple random variable, we will be talking about the conditional expectation of one random variable given another random variable. So any PMF have an associated expectation, and if we have to find, let's say if we have to find the expectation of this random variable x, then how we used to do that? Let the expectation of this random variable x is equal to whatever the random variable x is taking the value, that is the little x, times the associated probability that random variable x is taking the value little x, and we sum this thing over all the possible value of x that random variable can take, and this will give you the expectation of this random variable x. So now for any probability mass function, we will have the associated expectation. Similarly, we have seen that for any conditional probability mass function, we will have the conditional expectation. And we have already seen this for the case where we have found the conditional expectation of a random variable given some event. Let me recall you. So we are interested in finding the expectation of this random variable x given some event a, right? And how we used to do that? So random variable can take any value, that is little x. So whatever the value, random variable will take the little x times their associated probability, that random variable, let's say taking the value little x with this probability, and we sum over. And one more point to note here, this will not be a ordinary probability, here it will be a conditional probability. So this is what the difference between this expectation and this expectation. So we are finding the expectation of this random variable x given some event. So this probability will not be a ordinary probability, instead it will be a conditional probability, right? And we sum this term over all the possible values of x. So this is what we have seen as a conditional expectation given of a random variable given some event. Now what we are trying, so in last of few videos we have started with this multiple random variable. Now we will be finding the conditional expectation of a random variable given another random variable. So instead of talking about this evidence or this given condition in terms of expectation, now we will talk about in terms of the random variable, or maybe it will be another random variable. So let's start with this two random variable. Let's say for an experiment we have two associated random variable, let's say x and y, and let me assume that this event a is equivalent to saying that random variable y is taking some value little y, and let's say this event has already occurred, or let's say we have given this event that random variable y is taking some little value y, or this we have given this event a. Then we are interested in finding the expectation of this random variable x given that random variable y has taken some little value y. You will see that there is nothing new here, it is just about the notation, but these notations are important, otherwise you will get confused what we are talking about and what is happening here, right? So this is the conditional expectation, and again we are finding the expectation of this random variable x So here, whatever the value that random variable x can take, that is the little x, times the, here what will be, here it will be the conditional PMF. So probability of this random variable x given y. So this is what we are talking about, this conditional PMF, right? And we sum this term for all the possible values of x that random variable can take. So this is what the conditional expectation in case of two random variable, and we can extend the same idea for multiple random variable. So the conditional expectation of random variable x given that y takes on a certain value is defined as the usual expectation, except that now we use the conditional probabilities. Now let's proceed. We have already seen this expected value rule for the ordinary expectation. So let's say we have a function that is a function of some random variable. So let's say we have this function that is gx. Here x is a random variable. Now if we have to find the expectation of this random variable or this function gx, then how we can do that? So the expectation of this random variable, the expectation of this function is that we used to find using this expected value rule, and that is nothing. So that will be equal to this function, right, times the probability that random variable takes this value x, and we sum over all for all the possible values of x. And we have already seen the expected value rule in case of the conditional expectation also. So again it is just about the notation. So the expectation of this function given this random variable, given this event a, that will be equal to this function times, now it will not be a ordinary probability, instead it will be a conditional probability. So probability that random variable x takes the value little x given this event a, and we sum over all the possible values of x. Now let's say again, if we are talking about more than or multiple random variable, then let's define an event. Let's say this event is happening of this event a is equivalent to saying that random variable y takes the value little y. And if we have to find the conditional expectation given this event a has occurred, or I can say that this random variable y is taking some value little y, then the expectation of this function given, I should write here the little x, given this event a, or same way we can say that random variable y is taking the value little y, that will be equal to this function times the probability or the conditional probability. It will be the conditional probability. So we are talking about this random variable x given that this random variable y, and we will sum this product over all the possible values of x. So you see, in case of the multiple random variable, the expectation, or you can say the conditional expectation, is nothing but just about the notation, otherwise the idea will remain same.